Good evening. It is Wednesday. It is the 8th of June. It's a lovely evening. It's 8 o'clock in London, and this is our Golden Nugget Nation weekly Q&A. And this week have a very interesting question that came up in regards to why do I promote the need for vibration, increasing our vibrations, increasing our frequency, increasing our amount of spiritual energy in the pursuit of the law of attraction. Obviously, this is somebody who's read my book, and I would recommend everybody read it. But let's just start off with just trying to answer this question in a simple way, trying to keep to the 10-minute time limit. Now, Nikoli Tesla, not Elon Musk, who builds Tesla cars, but Tesla, the inspiration for this, said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in the terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, Tesla was a very well-rounded individual in many regards. But one of the things about him is that he was singularly focused on engineering and electrical engineering. But he had a lot of other interests that pervaded into his mind. And there are times I wonder whether he was aware of the Hermetic philosophical principles. Now, there is a concept of a person named Hermes. Hermes is recorded to have written one of the most ancient of documents that was given to man, and these were written on tablets of emerald. On the tablets of emerald, something that we cannot do at this, even to this present day, was the green mineral slate that had raised letters on it that gave 7 principles of the Hermetic philosophy. And tonight we're going to talk about the third principle. The third Hermetic principle is this: the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Those are experienced in working with the law of attraction will likely already be very familiar with something like this principle of vibration. To put it simply, all things carry their own unique energy on all planes of existence. Now remember, we're talking about being multidimensional beings. We're talking about not just being this flesh and blood person who's sitting right now in front of you. I'm far more than that. In fact, even the smallest particles in the universe has to vibrate at a frequency, and that frequency will always impact objects that are around it. Crucially, the principle, this third point in the Hermetic philosophy, tells us that high energy things are magnetically drawn to one another and are attuned to them at a very basic level. Meanwhile, because the first principle or the second principle of the Hermetic philosophy is as above, so below, as within, so without, it's the law of correspondence. If high energy things attract high energy objects, then low energy things attract low energy objects. And so in order to have a happy, fulfilling life, you will benefit from aiming to become a source of high energy. When you understand the law of attraction and you understand that like attracts like, if you can increase your own vibrational frequency, you can attract more positive, more high energy events, people, and possessions in your life. On the other hand, if you get dragged into negativity, it will be hard to attract what you desire. Both expert manifestors and hermeticists are people who follow the Hermetic philosophy, believe that all of our thoughts can be fine-tuned. In this way, we all can make our vibrational frequency progressively. See, that's the important word, progressively. You're not starting out today there, but you can get there higher in a way that changes our lives. Now, when people sit back and say, well, I don't know, what do you mean by this frequency and this vibration stuff? The only way that I can talk about it to make sense in a very short amount of time is I would recommend that you go on YouTube, and I'm going to put into the YouTube show notes a link that will give you an introduction into cymetics. Cymetics is how sound can create and change the shape of a medium. So they place sound on a metal plate, basically, and they change the frequency and the vibration or whatever they're manipulating. And the medium that's laid on the metal plate will begin to take different shapes. And you can change the frequency and bring it back, and you get the same shape again. So it is repeatable, doable, etc. over time. So we do know that vibration, that sound, which is a vibration, both of which are frequency materials, have an impact in the physical world. Now, to top this off, I'm going to send you a link also to John Hutchinson. I remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, seeing something about John Hutchinson. I don't know whether it was on television, sci-fi channel, something, but it was amazing. Is what this guy did is he bought a whole bunch of, I believe it was naval radio equipment from the Canadian Navy that was surplus. And he kind of just put it all together and began manipulating the frequencies and the sounds. And all of a sudden, one day he found that he made something levitate. And he started getting into it. And not only was he making with the vibrations and frequency and the sounds that were going on, levitating objects, he got two different kinds of metals that actually fused together into one object. He was able to make metal catch fire while it was sitting on top of wood, and the wood did not burn, but the metal melted. He made metal disintegrate, fragment itself, all with the use of sound and frequency. Now that really struck my imagination, because I had talked to a couple of Tibetan lamas that by that point in my life, who talked about how the lamas knew how to move very heavy rocks up in the Himalayas using musical instruments and chanting. I was thinking they were just giving me some hocus pocus, but here I've got John Hutchinson in Canada doing this on camera, making very heavy metal objects levitate into the air, all using about 75 watts of power, about what you use for some of your light bulbs in your house to raise heavy objects, make metal melt, fuse, etc. Things that we usually have to have very, very high levels of energy. And he's doing it all with frequency that our ears can hear as sound. And what if we were touching it, we'd probably feel like vibration. So that is what the point is. It is real. There is science today that can make this manifest to you, that it becomes a little bit more understandable. I'm going to be giving you some of the evidences. It's up to you. You can argue or what you want about it. You might not want to believe your lying eyes. That's you're right. But in regards to the law of attraction, you can only attract things that you're vibrating at. And if you sit down and you look at the way the world is for you and you say, I've got a lot of terrible things going on in my life, maybe you need to work on vibrating at a higher level. I'll never forget one time I was talking to a multimillionaire, and I was doing very well in life. I was struggling, just trying to make it from paycheck to paycheck. And he was on the phone, and it was obvious he'd been on the phone for a long time, struggling with somebody else. And I'm thinking, this guy's a multimillionaire. He's got it made. He's got his house paid for. He's got tons of money in the bank. He's driving, vehicles that I could only dream of. He's living a lifestyle I can't imagine anybody having. And he hung up from the phone. He looked at me. He says, "You see, Gary, even I have to struggle. Just my struggle is at a higher level." And he was telling me about the law of attraction. He had attracted a lot of great wealth. He had attracted a lot of great benefits in his life, but he still had to struggle, even at this higher level, to learn the lesson that planet Earth was giving him this time around. Well, that's our Q&A for this week. Please feel free to go ahead and take a look at what I have in the show notes on the YouTube channel. I really hope that those of you who are just watching this on Facebook will take a look at what I've got posted below in my first comment, because it's just going to be all the information that I'm sharing with you now. But take care. Have a great week. Remember, you were born to be rich, and you started life already as a winner. And I'll catch you next week. Bye.